All right, Luke, now that we've both had some time to reflect, I thought that it would be good to come back in and just talk a little bit about maybe what has been the cause of some of some of the things, some of the choices that you make, some of the stresses that you have. Um, Tell me a little bit about how you grew up. I know we talked a little bit about it last time, um, as far as your family situation, um, but tell me about how maybe your dad and mom treated each other in their relationship.
Um, yeah. I mean, it is a pretty stable home life. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any type of sob story or abusive parenting or
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And I think that my mom and my dad had a pretty strong relationship, and even do still to this day. But like you want to know like the dynamic. Like I'm
Yeah,
assuming you're kind of thinking about like how did my dad act when he got off of work and things like this. Is this kind of what you're
um,
alluding to?
maybe yeah. How
Yeah, because I
about
mean, I think now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I mean that is kind of what my dad did. I mean, when he would come home from work, he'd sit down, he'd watch the game, have a beer, do whatever.
mm-hmm.
But my mom would bring him a beer a lot of the times,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes
Yeah,
my mom would just be working in the kitchen, or gosh, that sounds so like 1950ish,
yeah.
but but that's just she never complained, at least not in public, but
Mm-hmm.
or in front of me. But I mean, yeah, she did things around the house, and my dad worked during the day, and but I mean, I guess that is a difference. My mom didn't work, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe that was something.
And so you would say then that your parents both kind of fulfill the stereotypical gender roles as far as the
Yeah,
relationship
I
goes.
I think so. I mean, for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, I mean, they're not like you know ultra conservative, and they're minded in things, and I don't think that my mom ever felt like she was a suppressed woman or things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think that they fit those. That's how their life went, and they kind of slid into those roles.
Mm-hmm. And between you and Meredith, would you say that you have kind of also taken on some of the same roles as your parents? Your parents? I don't know about all of
Meredith.
Meredith's family dynamics just yet, um, but would you say that that's kind of
Yeah, I
held
mean,
true?
I think that's kind of maybe like what I expected for sure. Like I kind of expected that. That was the kind of things that I mean, cause she would talk about that. She'd be like, cause when we first got married, she was like, "Hey, do you need me to wash anything, or do you need me to? You want lunch? Things like that." So she asked these questions that were like, I was assuming she was going to do these things, and I would just be sitting there. But now we're a couple years into our marriage, or year and a half into our marriage, and she all of a sudden is like, he doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get it. But,
Yeah. And so do you see, like, do you think that following the same footsteps as your parents, do you think that's completely healthy as far as your and Meredith's, like, relationship together? Maybe that is good for some couples, but do you think
yeah,
that it's specifically good for both of you?
yeah. I mean, obviously not. I mean, obviously it's not working perfectly, or I mean, I don't think any marriage is going to work perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that yeah, maybe it's a little different, and Meredith does think differently than my mom did, and maybe it's something where she does work where my mom didn't work, so she feels like maybe she does the same things that I do, and she
Mm-hmm.
deserves the same
Mm-hmm.
relaxation at home. I guess that she assumes I getting that. A lot of times I'm not exactly relaxed. Like we talked about, I'm consumed with these stresses of deadlines and papers and things like that. So I'm not just sitting there and just loving life. I'm I'm stressing out too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I'm doing things just internally.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you think? Meredith always feels. I know she sometimes voices her opinion, but when she doesn't, I know you had said that you think maybe she even enjoys doing work around the house sometimes, and you think that um, maybe she needs to just ask you to do some of the jobs, and maybe you'll actually do it, but she just doesn't. Do you think that maybe she does feel all the time kind of this feeling of almost resentment towards the fact that you do just want to, you say you just want to relax at home while she just got off work as well, and is doing work around the house?
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely she's feeling that. And it's something that I guess more recently I've been aware of that she's feeling. But yeah, I mean, I still kind of feel the same way. Like, I think that if she voices her opinions to me and she would tell me what she needs me to do or give me a list, something like that, then I'd do it. But I don't know, maybe.
What if what if you guys sat down and made a list out for each other that would be equal jobs in the house?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be a good idea?
I mean, I think it would definitely at least give me an idea of what to do because sometimes I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know how to clean a house. I don't know where do I start? I start in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the living room. I don't know.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I think having a specific job that I can do, that's how I work, kind of. So it's if I have something that I can do, then I'll do it. But who knows if that'll satisfy her either.
Right. So I'm just gonna change. I'm gonna change the conversation a little bit here. I'm gonna go from kind of being your counselor, who is your pastoral counselor, to much more of a pastor kind of role. And I just want to ask, how do you think yours, not just yours and Meredith's relationship has been going, but what about your personal relationship with God? How do you think that has been going, just by yourself? Like maybe your prayer life, your scripture reading life, things like that.
Well, I think a lot of it is pretty frankly taking a back seat to everything else. Especially now that me and Meredith are going through whatever this is. So I think everything is kind of taking a back seat while we're trying to figure that out. I say prayers. I pray on the way to work. Sometimes in the morning, or if I get alone, sometimes at night I'll pray. But I mean, as far as reading scripture, just what you read on Sundays. But, yeah, it's not good, I know, but it's just kind of where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you kind of the same question as I did between yours and Meredith's relationship. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being before you were a Christian, and a 10 being the best you've ever felt as far as your relationship with God, or maybe even what you see as like the ideal relationship between someone and God, where would you say you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like my relationship. I think it's a 2. I think that obviously it's not the worst that it could be because I mean there was a time then that I didn't believe or I wasn't a follower. But that being said, it's definitely one of the lowest, probably the lowest points of my Christian life. I think that since I've been a believer, it's been the least disciplined, I guess we would say, as far as praying and reading the Bible. But then again, I'm here, so
right,
it speaks to something, I guess.
So what do you think? Yeah, that definitely does. You just showing up is already just a big feat.
Yeah.
Most people are not ever going to choose to try and deal with whatever's going on in their lives. What do you think would you need to do in order to get from the 2 that you see is your relationship with God? What do you think you need to do to bring that up to a 3?
I don't know. I just feel like I need I need to see something. I need to like experience,
Mm-hmm.
something happen. Whether it's in my relationship with Meredith, whether it's just in my personal life. Like I don't know, I'm the kind of person that needs to be inspired, and so it's like I just feel like I need to see something. I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's just been a lot of just monotonous quietness of just God's not really. I'm not seeing the things God's doing in my life or around me. And so it's just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
does he care? Is he there? Yeah, I know he is, but
Well, let me just point out one place that I see God in your life. Um, you said that just over this past week, your relationship with Meredith has gone from a 2 to a 4. God is clearly working because He wants, His will is for your guys' relationship to work. You guys have a covenant together. You got married in His name, um, and this is clearly Him working in you in order to go and grow your relationship with your wife. Would you say that maybe you do see God in that now, and maybe that gives you a little bit of hope?
yeah, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think that every time that we have good moments, I really, it's through. I think through love.
Mm-hmm.
As cliche as that is, I think through love is when I see like goodness and happiness and what happiness can be. But I also haven't really been feeling that much. I feel more of like the isolation and kind of just gray, if that
Mm-hmm.
is not a good way to describe it, but just, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that definitely um, ends our time. I just want to encourage you and remind you um, that this week we're going to keep on with the homework assignment from last week. I want you to continue striving to do just one extra thing around the house so that you can serve your wife. And then also, I need you to try and do the other homework assignment that I had asked you to do.
Like, you mean like praying and reading scripture?
Definitely, that will be our third one. The second one, right.
You want us to go hang out on
go
Thursday night, do something. Yeah.
And go do something.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that so you can
I need
spend
to think
time with
about
her, and you'll experience one of those good times that you were just saying is where you see God in your relationship. And then also, I just want to add one more thing, and that would be to try and pray with her every single day of the week. At night, maybe before you go to bed, maybe just at dinner. Just really, really try and strive to pray with one another every single day. So, yeah, I'm so glad you're able to come in today, and hopefully we'll be able to meet again here in the next month or so.
Yeah, for sure.
And we can see where you're at.
Yeah. Well, thanks for talking to me. Thanks for seeing me.
No problem.